Hello. Romeo has a lot of questions, but I can't figure out how to see private messages from that page and also do a live video. So I need your phone.
Why?
Cause let's try this.
It's not working?
No, it's on, but Romeo sent like 50 questions and he can't post them, so it's too many. But I can't see it on my phone while I do this.
Good job, Romeo.
I don't think we'll get to all of them.
Huh? That's good, he's asking questions.
Okay. There are 3 things open now.
Did you on my other computer? Seth?
Oh, shut up. Hello.
Hello.
Let's begin. Romeo, I read the Seth material a long time ago, even before discovering Abraham, and I loved it. It feels more like remembering than learning. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for the Seth books, and thank you for answering all my questions, even the silly ones, and of course a very big thank you to Randy for channeling Seth. I'm so grateful for this opportunity for expansion. Here are my questions. I didn't hear Rocky's name. You cover a wide range of topics in Seth material, so why did you decide to title the Seth material The Eternal Validity of the Soul? The soul is everlasting. So any number of topics could be under the umbrella term of eternal validity. It's just material that shows you different things that exist in the world to show you that not is as it seems and that there's much, much more to it, like how the pyramids were built and Bigfoot and little people who live in caves and things. There's a lot more that happens than what's usually written about. And plus it has to do with Jane's input, so that's what we agreed upon. Before we become physical, does our soul plan everything out, even how we'll croak? And if so, then what would that mean? That we all have a destiny, or do we have free will, or both? You have free will. All you have is a general guideline of what you would like to do. And your oversoul can direct you if you're going off your intended path. You may choose how you will go out at the beginning, but some people prefer to let life go on and then have a way be presented, or have your oversoul decide when the time is right. But it's not really seen as a big event, so it's not a lot of thought is put into it, unless the whole purpose is to experience a certain type of life, like a pro athlete who goes out through some big dramatic performance, or someone who wants to come to be, like, have a long-term illness and go out that way. You've mentioned that right before something gruesome happens to our bodies, that we're yanked out right before and a shadow is left. Are we the ones that make that decision to leave our bodies, or does our higher self yank us out? Your higher self does, but sometimes in the moment, people who are very in tune will know it's time and will ask for it, but you always have someone who is watching out for you and who does it if you are not there. You know, mentally. Are the 3 remaining megalodons all males? Is there a possibility for reproduction? Which bodies of water are the megalodons currently located in? 2 are male, 1 is female. They actually circulate around the globe. All 3 of them are separate right now because they've come for separate experiences, but at one point, yes, the 1 female could become pregnant, but it's not where their experience is at the moment. But because they live such long lives, it is possible. Especially if more and more people continue to ask, or maybe another one comes out of the blue. Is reminiscing a form of astral projection? It could be, but often you're just reflecting on a nice moment in time. But yes, you could physically experience it again, because if the motion is really strong, or if you're talking about it, you could go to sleep that night and astrally experience it. But just talking about it isn't quite, but it is a step if somebody is wanting to relive that. Can one see non-physical beings during astral projection? You can see non-physical beings right now. You just have to look and ask for them to present themselves and ask for it to be very obvious to you. How can someone who has never astral projected before learn to? You could read about it, read about other people's experiences, meditate, ask to practice in your dreams, write about how awesome it is that you're doing it, act as if, so write as if it's already happened, and focus on how it feels, and then you will attract it to you. But you've got to be vibrating high for it to be possible. You've mentioned that part of you is here on Earth as an animal. You really are radiant and wild, Seth. So what kind of animal is it? Isn't it boring being an animal, though? Why choose that experience? You can come for a peaceful experience. So, like, if you want to be a butterfly or a bird, like something just, you get to soar and it's easy. Or you could be something that's appreciated a lot, like a dog or a horse. Or you could live like a sloth in the jungle. That's a very low-key, relaxing experience. Or something fast-paced like a jaguar or a lion. So your opinion on animals might be that it's boring, but if you're a shark, like a great white, it's pretty fast-paced life. So it doesn't matter what level you're on, being an animal can always be fun. You know, becoming as a tree might be boring, but some people, especially yoga lovers, they do it for the Zen experience. So it's just what your soul is craving at that time. And you can always have really quick experiences, like a fly or an animal that's hunted really quickly. It's just different. Okay, Brenda. Can I think and feel things and experiences into my reality? Yes. because the way to manifest is to ask, to get in that feeling mode, and know that it's coming, and then just wait for it. So, if you think, I want to meet somebody who runs an ice cream truck, and you just think about how it would feel, and it would be really cool, and it'd be different, and it would be fun, and a new adventure, and you could even play out scenarios in your head about it, you can bring it to you, because you're putting energy towards it, which makes the vibration happen, which makes it come back to you. Romeo, has the U.S. government used any reverse-engineered alien technology for war purposes, and if so, what technology have they used and against who? No, they haven't. They like to pretend they're a lot more advanced with their army than they are. They mostly stick to jets, grenades, atomic bombs, that kind of stuff. They figure if they learn how to use it and the enemy gets a hold of it, the enemy will figure it out and then use it against them. So they don't want to use anything they don't 100% understand and that's super advanced. So they just stick with known weapons. What 6 elements are best for constructing an inverse gravity vehicle, and what 4 elements are best for constructing a Searle effect generator? Any buoyant light material is good for the gravity vehicle. If you're able to trap air and helium, those are very effective. Sounds like you're doing a science project. But light metals, trapped air, helium, even plastic like saran wrap with helium trapped in it, those kind of things. Those are good. Constructing a Searle effect generator. Generators, anything that can use hydroelectricity is good. Although in a generator it'd be a bit difficult, but coiled metals, hydroelectricity, and metals that stay cooler so it doesn't overheat, those types of things. Is there a simpler way to construct a Searle effect generator other than the way John Steele has done it? Yes, but it hasn't been discovered yet, but there is someone who is coming, and one of their goals is to perfect that, so I will not give it away. Do you and Jane Roberts ever hang out or party over in non-physical? Are there parties in non-physical? We converse once in a while, but she is going on to other experiences. There aren't like, fraternity house rager parties, but there are gatherings with people, and yes, like dinner parties and dancing and that kind of stuff, but there isn't like alcohol and drugs because you don't need it. You can just have those feelings without it, so they're more of gatherings than I would call a party, because a party kind of dims it down a bit. Brenda, to heal cancer, what is the best course to help humans? Well, the person who has the cancer has to come to the realization. You can have a friend who has cancer and give them all the information in the world, and none of it will work for them. But, as a bystander, you can see them as happy and healthy and know that what they're experiencing is temporary and can be relieved and go away. And just by being positive and happy around them, you can influence them, and even if it's their course to go out by cancer, they can at least have a lighter, easier experience on the way out. But for someone who hasn't and realizes that they have it, they can understand that it's not hereditary, it's not genetics, it's not something they caught, they didn't use a type of brand of toothpaste that causes cancer. What they have is a block that has caused stress to manifest in a physical, very negative way. And what they should do is start meditating and do the health processes where you say to yourself, my body is a temple, my body knows what to do, I have trillions of cells and they all work together to coordinate for my best physical experience, and they know what to do as long as I let them. I am allowing myself to be healed. I feel better just by knowing I am in control. So then realizing that you create your reality, and do you want to experience cancer in this reality, or would you rather be healthy? And then just by making those or choices, it lightens it. So it goes from, well, I'd rather be healthy. So, okay, that's better. Well, I'd rather be healthy now. Well, I'd rather be healthy really soon. I'd rather do this. And then you can start thinking of all things that once cancer's gone, what would you want to do? Well, the only thing that's holding you back from going jet skiing and skydiving and traveling the world is the fact that you have cancer. So what do you need to get rid of? Well, cancer. And it just keeps making it lighter and lighter so that it can disappear. So meditating, knowing you're in control, getting fresh air, getting exercise, having that attitude of gratitude even if you're not feeling the best, and knowing that you create your experience so you can rid yourself of that. Romeo, does one have to be dreaming in order to astral project? No. It's the easiest way to do it because you're lighter. People will go to sleep and then wake up and go somewhere and not realize that they've left their body behind, or realize they're in the air flying somewhere and how is this happening, and I must be dreaming, but they're actually in a state of consciousness. Jane used to astral project when she would channel, so she wasn't asleep and dreaming, she was just lending her body and then going elsewhere. So there's different ways to do it. According to the Bible, humans used to have triple-digit lifespans. Is that true? What was the peak of the human lifespan? No, that was not true. Well, I mean, obviously, some people live to 100. There is the odd one, but the average is in the doubles. Most people have learned what they want to by then, but some people want that title of I lived to 100, I lived to 101. So they do come for that. But on average, no, it was doubles. The Bible just says a lot of things to try and make people live up to a certain expectation, but doubles is regular. The lifespan will continue to get longer and longer for those who want it, because people are healthier now, but mostly people around 80, 90, they're ready to move to a new experience. Brenda, what is the most helpful thing that you would like to help humans with? Getting what you want out of life. So realizing that what you focus on grows. You create your reality. You are in control. You're powerful creators. Nobody is more powerful than others. They've just figured it out sooner. Realizing that this is all stuff that you inherently know. You've just purposely forgotten all of it so that you can relearn it to use it. So learning through different processes how to get what you want out of your experience. Romeo, have extraterrestrial beings ever physically abducted humans, and if so, why? And how does the process of abduction work? Does probing take place during these abductions? Has probing ever taken place? Do alien abductions still happen? If so, why? Yes, they've been abducted before because they have come or asked for that experience or been so terrified of it that it's manifested. Most are returned and their memories are wiped. some are kept, and then they're either kept as like a experiment or for others to view or to try and incorporate them in their world, but often doesn't work and they end up dying right away. And probing in a way, but that's more of like a made up movie thing, but it's more of an intellectual prodding at their minds to try and figure out humans and how they work, but it's not like a common thing. It is fairly rare, but yes, they still happen once in a while. How many lives have I lived? Is this my first life? It sure feels like my first. No, you've lived about 30. It always feels like your first because you forget everything, but 30 is very young. 30, like, Earth experiences as a human, but people could live 400 lives before they advance to the next level, so you are young in that sense. Why are some people allergic to certain things? My younger brother is allergic to peanut butter, which I find to be really odd. How can someone overcome an allergy? It is odd because there never used to be allergies, because people never used to have the luxury of not being able to eat things because they had to eat what was available. So the development of allergies is just another phenomena with humans and doctors, and oh, it must be this thing, and so you believe, oh, I must be allergic to peanuts, but it's just a block, or it's a belief that has been imprinted on you, so you believe it, so it manifests. If you want to get rid of an allergy, what allergists tell you to do is to stop eating it for 2 years and then slowly try it again later. And that actually works because you're taking it completely out of your system, you're forgetting about it, you're setting a time on it, so it's no pressure, it's just, okay, well, let's try it in 2 years and see if it works. And because it's all so light, it typically does. People often eat those things without realizing they've eaten them, and they have no allergic reaction because there's no knowledge of eating that peanut. So it's just the knowledge of eating it with the fear that there's an allergy that causes the reaction. But you can do writing on it. You can think of how much you like that food and appreciate it, or how much you like that your body can eat anything and you'd be fine. You can think of your body as strong and knowing what to do, and if it's food, it has to be good for me. I'm so lucky I live a life where I can choose what I want to eat, but I also appreciate the fact that all food is good for me. Something like that. Rocky, any questions?
Nothing's popping up just yet.
Well, you have 5 minutes.
Are you all done?
Soon.
Okay.
Week with the rest of the batch. Okay. What is the key to regrowing/healing something that was lost? For example, an eye or tooth. Do you just visualize and try to feel what it's like to have it? The best, if possible, is as soon as you lose it, because you will get phantom feelings. So those phantom feelings are the limb trying to regrow, and the more you focus on them, the stronger they'll be, and they'll actually start to regenerate the limb, the tissue, the bone, everything. Doctors tell you it's just phantom limb symptoms, so they tell you to dismiss it, so you do, so it stops, then you don't get the regrowth. But focus on that. You can retrace whatever you've lost, so if it's a thumb, retrace your hand as if your thumb was still there. put up a picture of you with your hand as it was before. Don't think in terms of I've lost my thumb. Think of in terms of I had an injury and it's growing back. And just focus on it, how useful it is to have it and it being there. I was listening to the Abraham Hicks healing meditation the other day, and Abraham mentioned that breathing deeply is key. Is it the deep breathing that allows cells to regenerate? Why is deep breathing key? It's because it allows you to focus more. They say it's because it gets more oxygen to the brain and everything, which yes it does and it helps, but the main point is you're putting more energy and more focus and thought to it, so it's allowing it easier. But I mean, you can meditate without deep breathing. You can meditate with shorter breaths, but the deep breathing just, it's more focused energy that's harnessed. Brenda, can a child in a dream receive such communications from a probable future self? Yes. Adults can too, anyone can, but children are the most open. They haven't closed off at all ever, so they're not relearning anything, they're still with it. And so pay attention to what they say, because if they say things that are kind of out there, kind of odd, it's just because you don't hear adults talk that way. Encourage them to keep talking and asking questions, because then they'll give you more and more of it. Romeo, why do channelers always breathe deeply before allowing an entity to come through? Again, deep breathing is just, it helps you focus and harness energy. You know, right before a test, you take a deep breath. Right before a big race, swim race, you take a deep breath. It's just a way that you can focus. I don't trust NASA. Can humans breathe in space? Are there extraterrestrial beings that can breathe in space without a breathing apparatus? Yes, it would be like fish having gills. They just have a certain type of organ that allows them to breathe and creates oxygen for them. No, humans at this time cannot breathe in space. There is no oxygen. In the Seth books, you've mentioned that space as we know it doesn't exist or something along those lines. What did you mean by that? Is space just an illusion? What about other planets? Space is much bigger than was once thought, but also things are a lot closer. So if you see a planet as being so many hundreds of thousands of miles away, it will be, but if you see a planet as being just the next planet over, you can get there a lot quicker, just based on your belief and your perception. And you can travel to other solar systems with the tools you currently have if you focus more on who's in the spaceship out in space rather than having to find it before you go out there. Because from Canada, you can't see Australia, but you know something is out there, so you can get to it. Well, it's the same with other solar systems and atmospheres. You know something's out there, you just have to go explore it. Is the sun really a star like we've been told? What makes the sun burn? What fuels it? Is the sun a living thing? Does it have a soul? Yes, every planet has a soul, or multiple souls, coming for that experience. There can be 50 or 100 souls in the sun experiencing that, and because the sun is, everlasting, others can leave, and they can switch out so that the sun is always working, but maybe a soul lives there for a while and then once has had that experience and is done with it, and so things cycle through. Same with the Earth, same with all planets. And so it's energy from souls that fuel the sun. Same with the ocean and water and mountains and plate tectonics and stuff, that's souls moving. Does Mother Earth have anything that she would like to tell her inhabitants? Keep walking barefoot, because even if it's winter and you're surfing, take your booties off at the end and walk in the water, because it helps you connect and it lifts you up quickly. What made Jesus Christ different from other people of his time? Was he just tuned into his inner being? Did he really heal people? And if so, how? What is Christ consciousness? Jesus came for the experience of teaching and of being that kind of powerful being amongst average people. He was very tuned in, but he also never turned off. He never got away from it. It was always really strong for him, because that was his experience. He could heal people kind of like a medicine woman would, medicine man, because he believed in it so deeply and knew that it worked, that you could heal without medicine, that other people believed it, and so it's the belief that makes it work. You can give somebody a cancer pill that fixes cancer 100% of the time and it not work because the belief isn't there, and you can give somebody a placebo pill that fixes cancer 100% of the time but cures them because the belief is there. So it's the belief, and they believed he could heal, so he did. What is Christ consciousness? Well, there's two different ideas behind that. There's that I am Christ, and I'm one with Christ, and I have his consciousness with me, so I have all this power behind me. But there's also less of like a selfish way. It's more of keeping Christ's kind of teachings in mind for a collective consciousness for everyone. And it's like the way of living, following the Bible, whatever, that kind of attitude. Can you please explain the mechanics of law of attraction? How is it that I attract what I focus on? I know we live in a vibrational universe, but sometimes it feels like we live in an action-based universe. Is law of attraction like a giant magnet or more like an action guidance system? It would be an emotional guidance system. It seems action-based, but it is vibrational. It's more like a magnet. It's more like when you skip a stone on a lake and you get the ripples that go and go and go and go. You are causing something to be put into motion, and then it does its work to bring it back to you. So everything attracts everything else with vibration, and your emotions guide you. So if something feels good, you go for it. If it doesn't, you stop and change your course of action. And the better you feel, the quicker you manifest. So good things seem to keep happening and happening. You have a really lucky day. It's because you're in that attitude of gratitude, and you're vibrating high, and you're drawing in experiences that are pleasurable and enjoyable. How can one change a core belief? A belief is just a thought that is repeated. It's just a pattern. A pattern is just a repeated thought. So if you tweak the thought, you can change the belief. People make it a core belief. A belief is a belief. a core belief just means you've believed it for longer. So look for evidence that it's not true, and you'll get evidence that it's not, and the more you recognize it, the more you'll get. So then you'll be able to change your way of thinking. Or if you want evidence of that belief, just ask for evidence of it, and perhaps you get it, perhaps you don't. Alright, last one. There's 4 rambunctious girls downstairs. I've noticed that sometimes Abraham's accent and tone changes, I guess depending on which particular energy is coming through. How come your accent or tone never changes, Seth? Aren't the 3 of you? Or maybe I just haven't noticed. Esther's mindset is that Abraham has to be distinct from her. So Abraham has a different tone. And she wants it to be really obvious, so she gets, yes, it sounds different sometimes, but that's more a reflection of her mood, and it just kind of happens naturally for her. Randy didn't want that experience. She didn't want to sound like a man, so she just has her regular voice. And yes, there's 3 of us, but we work fluently in conjunction, so it comes through smoothly. With Abraham, sometimes the energies are really, really excited, and so it can kind of jumble a bit, but that's also based on Esther's personality, where she gets overexcited, and so they kind of compete, but it's not all channelers do it. The newer channelers seem to be more, like, affluent, but the older ones are a bit choppier sometimes, just because that's how it was seen, because it had to be very distinct to be recognized as something different. Okay, the rest we will save for next time, and we will end there. Unless Rocky, unlikely, has a...
No, that was good. Romy had some really good questions.
What about Brenda?
Yes, it was all good. Very good.
Better. Alright, I will go now. Sayonara. Bye.
See you, Seth.